Hey guys, welcome to Auckland Weekly. So this week I'm talking with Kieran Hedley. Kieran is a fitness Instagrammer. He's also a fitness YouTuber. He covers a lot of stuff that is really detailed, and he sort of knows a lot about how to get fit, and stay happy while doing it, and sort of do it in a very healthy way and do it in quite a way that actually works and is sustainable, which I think is quite valuable because a lot of people have this mindset of just go, 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 go. You have to do it. There's no other option. But yeah, I think this is the way he approaches it is a much more sustainable way. He was a really nice guy to have on the podcast. The audio wasn't absolutely perfect, and I hope you can sort of ignore that because the quality of the conversation actually is really good, and I think that makes up for a lot of it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode and have a good night.
I'm going to show you how great I am.
Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than
Everybody
you.
has time. Stop watching Lost.
I love what I do, and that's why I'm doing what I love.
Hey guys, welcome to Auckland Weekly. This week I'm with Kieran Hedley. Kieran, how did you get into this whole thing of self-development, fitness, all of that? How did this all start?
Hey mate, so basically it started from when I was like very, very little, basically playing sport, still really unconfident, kind of getting into things. And I found that when I was playing rugby, I was becoming more confident with myself.
Yeah.
And then, and basically as I started to pursue like rugby, getting into the first 15 for the school and everything like that, they started to introduce me to the gym. Yeah. And that's when I really got into it. So we were only doing like 2 days a week, full body workouts, and we're kind of getting into all that sort of stuff. And I started to find this love for it, and I started to see development and strength. Like my strength became a lot better, and basically I just after seeing that I joined the gym and got into things. Started about 3-4 times a week doing full body stuff still, not really knowing much. And I actually my very first personal trainer was actually Joseph Rakic, if you know of him. And he's basically just some Instagram guy from New Zealand as well, Auckland. And I just started to grow this love for bodybuilding, and so from there I just kept doing that kind of stuff. Started following more people on YouTube. Like Steve Cook's my new favorite guy. I love him to death. Anyway, from there, he's my main crush. And from there, again, it just kept growing, and I decided to dedicate myself to doing a show one day, and I did that last year. I'm gonna do a powerlifting comp this year, just kind of changing things up, and it's just kind of keeping that love for fitness and health, and it just growing really. And that's kind of how it all started. It's back from school, man.
How did you know that it was something that you wanted to do? When did you know that you were at that point and like, this is what I want to do?
It was more a confidence thing, I think. I just kind of found more confidence in myself when I felt like I was developing, muscle and, feeling stronger, just things like that. And I just feel more confident because as a kid, like I said again, I was always just such a shy kid. I'm now literally go up to people, random people, and introduce myself, say hi, and, get to know them a bit, which is really cool. It's just such a cool change to, it just feels good to, be confident in your own skin. So, you're able to express that confidence a bit more when you've got that.
Would you say, did it sort of come out of doing rugby union?
Yeah, I'd say it would have. That's when it kind of started, because I feel like playing a team sport is, such as rugby especially, because it's so physical, and having that confidence of, I'm able to break through these tackles, or I'm able to take this guy down, who's 40 kgs heavier than me, those sort of things, those confidence, those kind of acts of strength and confidence, you take that off the field as well. And I found, same to the gym as well, when you're able to, deadlift more weight, after a few weeks of training, or, when you finally, get a six pack or something like that, it's just that confidence. Like, even if no one else would see that six pack, it's just that feeling of you know what, I look good. It's not to be ashamed of, you feel more confident to get out there and, talk to people and do what you need to do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I found as soon as I had been gymming for a while and I felt good about my body, I could go talk to anyone. I couldn't do this podcast thing if I hadn't been at the gym. I definitely found the confidence just goes straight up. Not just because of I guess ego, but it's just you just feel better and then look better, all that kind of stuff. What made you want to go and do a competition?
So honestly, I think it just started from Steve Cook. So, like I said, when I was getting into all the bodybuilding stuff, that was literally because like partly because of watching Steepcook's videos. He was the first YouTuber I actually started watching. Just because when I lived in Queenstown about 3 years ago, I started watching his videos. And, like just because I wasn't too sure what else to do at the gym, because I'd just been following this this kind of program I found online. And I was just wondering like how to progress further, because I was kind of really stalled in progress. And that's when I stumbled across Steve Cook, saw his videos, saw that he competed. I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'll be able to do that one day, but maybe. And then after about probably 6 to 12 months of watching his videos, I just started to get that motivation, that itch to be like, oh well, one day I'll definitely sit on the stage, just need to grow a bit. So that's what I did. I just spent about maybe 2 years of just solidly just going through and like progressing, muscle development and all that sort of thing. And then I just got a coach when I was in Melbourne, and I'm like, screw it, I'm going to do it. So beginning of 2016, I wrote down on my year goals. So I write year goals every year, and one of my goals was stepping on stage, and that's exactly what I did. So I'm really glad I did that, because I did that on September last year. So it was just more like a life goal thing, like being able to push myself past limits. And I definitely did that for sure. It's definitely changed me as a person, so it's awesome.
That's pretty insane, because like I would maybe one day like to do something like a comp, but for me it's still very far off. It's like, it's one, scary, two, it's like I don't think my body's ready yet. Like I still don't have a lot of training to, but it's a very scary thing to do. When it comes to like productivity and like goal setting, as you mentioned, what sort of things do you do to be more productive and make your goals be realized quicker?
Okay, so I guess I'll take you back quickly. So when I first started getting into, I guess, goal setting, it all started in the gym or like with rugby. And I'm like, I was like, okay, one day I'm going to be a rugby player. I'm like an All Black player or a Blues player or something like that. Which, and then with the gym, it was kind of like, one day I'm going to be able to, deadlift 180 kgs, or like one day I'm going to have a six pack or something. It was just that kind of like I'm getting this going. I mean, that's a good way to start, but I found that, because when you're saying these big things, for example, I was probably deadlifting 100 kgs at a time. I was like, oh, that was so cool. So my mate deadlift 180 kgs, who's 10 years older than me, but it was so far away. And it's just having something that's so far out of reach, in your head, like, is almost demotivating at the same time. So what I started to realize, I was like, okay, cool. Okay, what I need to do now is start setting smaller milestones, smaller goals to reach those big goals. So it's just kind of like looking at those like small ones. So instead of looking at 180 kgs for a deadlift, going for 100 kgs, that's it's ridiculous. It's almost twice the weight. I was like, okay, cool. Let's just aim for 110 kgs. When we get to 110, we're like, cool. Like we'll be happy, So it's like it's cool. We've reached a milestone. It's just more motivating, because once you reach that milestone, it's like, cool. I can celebrate. Like I can have I can be happy about that, because I've just reached a milestone. And that means that next goal of, maybe 120 kgs is like that much closer, and that much closer to 130, 40, all the way to 180, right? So that's kind of what I started to realize. So, that applies to all things in life as well, like business, like friendships, relationships, all that sort of thing, and just, progressing forward. Like for me, when I just finished high school, moving into uni, I could talk to a girl, like really good. I just got out of a relationship, and and I was lucky to get into that relationship. I was shy. Anyway, small things like that. So for me, like for example, talking to a girl, I was like, okay, cool. I'll go with a group of friends, like on a night out or something. And, I'll get involved in conversation, and then from there it was like talking to a girl when I was drunk, and now it's like I'll talk to a female. Just wherever. So it's just a huge confidence thing as well. And then after that, I started to find with goal setting as well. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna start writing yearly goals. So I did that. That helped. That helped a bit. And then I realized again it was still pretty big. Like a year goal, you've got 365 days in a year. 365 days to achieve something is a long time. So then I broke it down to a monthly, weekly, and daily goals. So literally in my room, I'll have every month I'll write down my monthly goals, which I'll take from the yearly goals. So I'll take 1/12 of it, so like a milestone or something. And then from the monthly goals, I'll take weekly goals. I'll write weekly goals every week. And then from weekly goals in my diary, I do daily tasks. So what do I need to do in order to achieve my weekly goals? By putting my daily tasks. So that's what I do with my diary. And
is it like a paper diary?
Yeah, so paper diary. I just find the act of writing something down is just it's so good for subconscious, because I find that when, for example, if you're like, let's take something as an example. So if you're having a conversation with someone and something comes up in conversation, say maybe music. Say you're talking about music, and for example, I love like some rock bands that I like, for example, like Rise Against or Three Great, stuff like that. So if people like ask me, oh yeah, cool, what kind of music do you listen to when you work out? So like, I'll probably talk about that.
Yeah.
And then if I went away, maybe that later afternoon, I might go make a playlist, and somehow this kind of things happened before. Somehow it just all of a sudden, like, you go through the playlist maybe the next day and you kind of realize, oh shoot, like the majority of the artists that are in that playlist are actually the ones that I've just mentioned. It's just such a powerful thing, such a powerful thing. You kind of forget to realize that. And so it's the same as writing something down. So the act of typing something out is it's good, but writing it out like properly, like it's just it takes a lot more of my subconscious to do that. So it really takes control of that, which is really cool. And you start to things start to kind of unfold. So visualization is super important, and that's kind of what writing does as well as visualization. Yeah. So only recently as well, I caught up with someone when I was in Melbourne. I was visiting Melbourne recently, and he's been doing great things, man. Like he recently moved to Melbourne like with nothing. Like he sold everything when he lived in Perth, sold everything, moved to Melbourne to pursue his career in the music industry, and he did that. And what he's saying is, over the last like few months, he's gone from like zero to hero, man. Like he's making, like some weeks he's making $6 or $7 grand in a week, like by doing, because he's a personal trainer as well. Yeah. He's just killing it, man. A few months ago he was making nothing. So, but what he did, he said his secret was, and I've started doing this, I've realized the effects of it is every single day, all right? Yes, you write down your daily tasks, but you write down your life goals as well. So writing down, like, he had goals, like he was just like kind of shortish term goals. So like he had 12 weeks to earn a certain amount of money in order to, so he had money when he was going to LA, he was going to LA for 2 weeks, and he did that, and he smashed it. Like he wrote down more than he needed. He said, okay, cool, I've got 12 weeks to get 20 grand. So, which is pretty insane for someone who's kind of just got into the workforce and like a personal training career. Like he did it, man. He smashed it like within a few weeks, because he was every single day and every morning he was writing down that goal. I will have $20,000 by this day. Yeah, it's crazy. Like visualization is awesome. So that's kind of what I do for goal setting. I mean, it's a long story, but
I feel that. It's like I find a lot of the people that I'm talking to on here, they have some system or some way that they've set up to make themselves know what their goals are, and just know every day that they know they've told themselves what their goals actually are. How do you find that? How do you compartmentalize between weeks and months and all that sort of stuff? Because for myself, when I'm picking week goals, I usually overestimate. I'll be like, oh yeah, gain 5 kgs on my bench this week, or like, and like if my bench is already at a pretty good level, it's pretty hard to gain 5 kgs in just like 2 sessions. So then things like that, how do you know how much you can actually do in a week and how much you can do in a month and a year, all that?
It's just more experience, man. Like like for me, I still overestimate a lot of like what I can do. So like, for example, the day I'll be like, oh yeah, I can totally like, edit an entire YouTube video, and I can totally finish the ebook, or like, and then I've got all these other like miniature tasks that you kind of just forget to take into account as well. And like, for example, like, you got your day-to-day stuff, that's your gym stuff, like you go through emails, you'll probably be working 9 to 5, so you only get like an hour break. Then you might get like a little bit of spare time like here and there to, do a little bit of work on like things. So that's just an example, but there's also the gym as well. Like, so you've only got so much time at the gym. But what I'm saying is, just keep doing it. Like, I mean, you can only just keep trying. Like, that's the best thing you can do. So, I mean, don't think too much into like, I don't know, how you're going to get there. I think that's as long as your why is powerful enough, I feel like that's that's enough. And even if you do say, okay, cool, I'm going to put 5 kgs on my bench press this week, even if you don't make it, you're just going to reset that for the next week, right? Like I'd say, be as realistic as possible, but at the same time, don't doubt yourself. Because humans are amazing. Humans can achieve some amazing things. And I've seen some pretty incredible things, like mates and family, like achieve some pretty cool things. So anything's possible, man. I think just keep at it, man. Keep at it. More than anything. And you'll kind of learn like kind of what your potential is, and then from there you'll just be like, okay, cool, maybe it wasn't 5 kgs this week, maybe it was 5 kgs in the month. So you'll set that and be like, okay, cool. So in 2 weeks I'll do 2.5 kgs increase, and 4 weeks.
Too right. When it comes to your social media, how do you grow your social media, and because I know the majority of your posts and your stories, you're bringing value to people. Because I was just looking at your stories the other day. You're either bringing a happy, optimistic attitude that makes them feel good, or you're telling them some advice about fitness or something like that. What do you do to bring value in every post so you grow your social media?
That's a hard one, actually. I think because when I first started, like any sort of social media stuff, like I remember I had a personal Instagram. I think it's still up. It is actually still up there. It's like got 280 followers or something. It's just with my friends, right? And I hated posting. Like I hated Instagram and like all that sort of stuff. I'm like, what's the point of doing this? What's the point of doing that? Like what's the point of trying to get likes and all that sort of thing. And like that was my mindset. And, I had a girlfriend at the time, and she was like trying to get me to like post more on Instagram. I'm like, oh well, like I might like put one up here and there, and I didn't understand why she was always like getting me to take 1,000 photos so she could post one single one on Instagram. Like, don't get it. But anyway, like that was me at the time, and after all that stuff ended, I saw my mindset, but then I kind of realized, oh wait, social media is actually, it's like, there is that, but there's also more to it as well. It's like, it's about putting yourself out there and giving others like something of value, I guess, like, giving others even something as simple as inspiration. I mean, it's not inspirational simple, but like, it's very direct. So it's like what kind of most people do when they come into like, fitness, something they want to inspire other people. For me, it was like, okay, cool. Like Steve Cook's inspired me to do these like great things. And like I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now if I didn't start watching Steve Cook on YouTube, for example. And it was that kind of inspired me to be like, oh cool, well, I want to do just that. I want to inspire others. Like it's just one of those things, I guess. So and that's what I did, man. Like I started a little like a goal setting list of like on through social media and stuff. I was like, cool, okay, I'm gonna bring out like these YouTube videos. I'm gonna do this for social media and all that sort of thing. And like going back to the goal setting, it's just like I was starting to set like monthly tasks and yearly tasks. Or like by the end of the year, I'm gonna have this many followers or whatever. So this week, like my goal, like monthly goals and weekly goals. So like this week, my goal is to build up by 100 extra followers. Like, you do whatever you can to get those 100 followers. Like getting 100 followers sounds less daunting than getting 20,000. So they could have made a yearly goal 20,000. So again, it's just breaking it down. That's about building the social media. But of course, you need to provide content first. So like, look, find your niche. I think that's the biggest thing. Finding your niche, finding your why. So my why was I want to inspire others. The way I was inspired with Steve Cook, because he changed my life in that way, and I want to change others the way he's changed me, because I'm a much happier person, more optimist. So I'm fitter, I'm healthier, and I do a lot better in social circumstances. So it's great, and I want to share that with others. So like first of all, content, like having a why, and then and then finding a niche. And once you've found your niche, you're gonna do like when you find a niche and that's something that you're passionate about, perfect. If you find a niche you're not very passionate about, you don't find you want to go study that outside of what you're doing. Like for example, when you're on break at lunch or something, like during work, you don't want to read up on it, or like read an article in the morning when you're having breakfast or something like that. You don't want to do that. That's not your passion. You need to find something that you genuinely want to do that for. So that's what I think. Find a niche that is your passion. And for me, this is my passion, like fitness, lifestyle, all that sort of stuff. And inspiring others, so that's my passion. Like I'll read something every day on that kind of thing, like no problem. I love it. So when you're passionate about something, you're gonna learn what you can about it, and when you do that, you're gonna know things that other people don't, right? So it kind of just leads to like one thing into another. You find your niche you're passionate about, you're gonna do well in whatever it is. So so luckily I'm passionate about social media, and social media is one of the big things, so it definitely helps. Again, I'm always reading up about social media and stuff, and where was I going with that? Once I've kind of got that passion, I'm learning and everything, I'm providing content, so I'm just posting up on Instagram or whatever. The resistance training, weight training, just making sure that you're doing all your your main compounds, deadlift, the squat, the front squat, whatever, bench press, bend in a row, those things, still kind of spreading them over the week rather than doing them all at once. But focusing on that at the start of the week, start of the day, workout or whatever, and then throughout later on the workout, moving into more high reps, isolation movements, but changing that up as well. So maybe doing the same thing for 4 weeks, switch it up, because honestly, you get so used to it's surprising how well your muscles adapt to things. Making sure that you're switching things up is going to actually change the stimulus that's going to be applied to that muscle. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger said it in a simple way. It's kind of like you got to shock the muscle to grow, right? So and same with strength, you've got to shock the muscle to get stronger. Which it's not really shocking it. It's just more a muscle adapts to a movement, okay? Because Zealand muscle memory is a real thing. So making sure that you're changing up stimulus to the muscle in order to build strength or develop it, or grow stronger, or if the girl wants to tone, the girl generally means she wants to lose body fat but have shape, and the only way she's going to have shape is if she's either maintenance or surplus in terms of food. A lot of females don't understand this. They think they're interested, but they just need to eat this. But the only way you're going to develop that kind of that perfect shaped bum, or the line down the middle for the abs, or those toned arms, they're going to need to eat a little bit more, especially protein as well. And you're going to need to actually do these hypertrophy workouts and hypertrophy exercise, heavier weight, things like that, because they just think, okay, cool, 20, 30 reps, it's going to do it for me. It's just not going to cut it, because the stimulus applied to the muscle isn't enough. So just make sure that you're changing things up. Maybe doing 1 week, a couple of weeks, just pure 20 reps, but always cutting it down to maybe 8 to 12 or whatever. So changing it up like that, and I'm just going from there, really, sticking to the basics.
When it comes to changing it up, if I was trying to mix up my training, I would change things like rep ranges. And I noticed you mentioned in one of your stories the other day, you said you were applying isometrics, was it? Or I think it might be plyometrics, I can't remember. That's where you just hold it? Is that sort of how you would go about changing it up? Because
definitely, yeah.
Would it mainly be movement, or would it be rep ranges, or would it be all of it?
Everything. So I'll switch to for example, for the biceps train, I would take arms for example. Arms is a great way to look at it, because every couple of times. So we'll go with biceps. So biceps, the optimal way to grow a bicep, technically. So you've got your I'm going to keep it real simple. You've got your short head and your long head, and your bicep brachii, okay, which is your main heads. Then you've also got your brachialis, which is kind of one head in the bicep. Okay, so your brachialis, right, responds really well to high reps. Okay, I won't get into why, but just 'cause it's too much behind it. But the main two, okay, they respond better to low reps and heavier weight. So so a longer a shorter kind of stimulus, but making sure that the weight's gonna be provide enough stimulus to that muscle. So they say usually around about 4 to 8 reps is actually really good for the bicep curl. Okay, then when you're doing hammer curls, for example, which is going to affect the other one, the brachialis. So when your palm's facing towards you, that's really good on high reps and lower weight, just just smashing down like that. So that's kind of how I started to structure my training, and then I realized, oh wait, I got good results that way, because I was finally training the bicep the way I should be trained, but I stopped getting results as well after a certain while, because I was kind of oh well, I'm just doing the same thing, my muscles are useless. So I changed it up now. So I'll still go 3 or 4 weeks just heavier style training for the bicep, and then lighter style training for the hammer curls. But then I'll switch it up, and I'll go heavy and low reps with the hammer curls, and I'll start with that, and then change it up to real high rep and pumping out band curls. So with bands just pumping the muscle. Applying it, and my muscles was so sore the next day. Getting those DOMs just you've done something right. So, like I said, changing up the stimulus in the muscle is just going to really affect it and shock it, as Arnold would say. It's just make sure that you still stick to basics, but change it up occasionally.
Yeah, definitely. Because I find if I'm doing an exercise that I've never done before, either my form's bad and I'm not doing it correctly, or it's really gonna feel great, or it's gonna just completely. Because I remember I was just doing normal bicep curls, and then I went to just the cable machine, and I got the ropes, and I was curling like that instead with the ropes, and that absolutely destroyed my biceps, but it felt so
awesome.
good. But yeah,
that's good.
When it comes
that's really
to,
good, man.
When it comes to things like body confidence and all that, do you think? Because for myself with fitness, I find sometimes if I'm really bulking and I'm on peak and I'm really feeling good, my body confidence is sky high. But then if I do start to decline and I have to, because I had to take a 6-week break, I noticed a lot of the time I'd be looking at myself and thinking, oh my god, so small, just because I hadn't been able to lift for a few weeks, and then I just no pump, all that kind of stuff. How do you sort of address those sort of issues, one with yourself and with your clients?
See, that's hard. That's really hard, because as humans, we want to. We want respect from others, so naturally we want respect from others, and a big way to do that, a lot of people think, okay, cool, well, I have to look good. And that's I'm not gonna lie, that was me at one point, and I still think that a lot of the time, when I'm down low, I just think, okay, well, looking good is probably the easiest way to do it. Well, it's not really easy, but you get what I mean. It's it's just kind of the go-to, but it's just not the answer, and just getting past it is like, it's just really difficult. For example, when I came out of my comp, had like getting all lean for the comp and everything, I felt like crap, but like at the same time, I looked the part, and when I came out of that, I just didn't even care about my body. I just wanted to eat food, and then a week after that, I'm like, oh well, I'm fat again. Well, not fat, but you got what I mean. I didn't have any abs or anything, and it's just because I got out of the food, and that hit me hard. That hit me hard, man. Like getting up one morning, looking at the mirror, and thinking, wow, that went fast. And like it just shocked me a lot, because like a week back I had abs, and it was just it's just not a good feeling. Like, I mean, so, some people can relate to that, but then others can relate differently in order to like, and like, for example, they might be slightly overweight, or they might have never had a flat stomach before, but they're still like, so they haven't had that feeling of or they like feeling of like, oh, I used to be like this or I used to be like that, but at the same time, it's it's still like, okay, well, everyone else looks like that, but I don't, so it's it's a little bit different. So it's hard, man. Like it's just being able to accept, I think, is the biggest thing. Like, being able to accept this is the way it is, and like, I just, you need to find other ways to be happy other than trying to look good. Like being happy with the people that you're around, and make sure that you're around those people that aren't going to judge you the way that you look, because that's the biggest thing. Like, those are the wrong people. Like, straight up, like being around positive, like-minded people is just, everyone says it, like, but not a lot of people really do it. You really need to, like, you genuinely need to cut those people out. Like, if they're causing a negative effect on your life.
How do you know when someone is being like a negative force in your life, and you don't think they're not bringing value, and like sort of in a way that it sounds more like they're sort of taking away instead of just either being neutral or giving in a relationship? How do you know when to cut them out, and how do you know when they're, I guess, in a sense, being a leech or being negative? How do you know when it's time to just cut them out, and how do you cut them out?
Just when I feel sad. Like, if someone makes me feel crap, like, more times. It's just like this hang out, like, a decent person, someone that genuinely cares about you and makes you feel good, you're going to naturally want to be them around anyway. So you'll kind of realize over time, and I mean, it's definitely hard, because like, I've still got like, a few people in my life that, kind of bring me back a few steps, and like, make me kind of like forget about my goals, and, like, it almost feels like I'm pressured to like, ditch the personal training thing and just get a normal job sometimes. And like those people, I just kind of push aside a bit, and not pursue my business goals, because it's different. It's like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, yes, it's, you're not going to be paid to set like, wage or whatever, doing things like that. But it's just like super risky, and it's not perceived a normal job for some reason here and all. But like, you get my point. Like, like those people I kind of push aside, I don't really hang out with much anymore. Like, I might see them occasionally, and that's fine. I can handle that. But it's the people that genuinely like, support me with my goals, and like applaud me for like when I reach certain milestones. Like if I'm feeling lazy one day, they'll be like, "What are you doing? You need to sort your shit out." Like, it's a preach, but those are the people that I want to hang out with. It's just again, experience, but also keep in mind that you really do need to cut these people out, because it's going to make a huge difference. And if you haven't done that before, you're not going to know what it's like to actually get rid of those people, get rid of that negativity. It feels so much better. You really do. It clears your headspace so much.
What sort of things do you do to stay sort of open-minded and aware, and just keep your mindset on point? Because I know you have a very good mindset, and you keep it positive, you keep it happy. What sort of things do you do to keep that the case?
Oh man, you've got some good questions there. This is a hard one, actually. It's probably the hardest one of all, because I gotta be honest, like, I feel down just as much as anyone else. Like, even though like all my posts are happy, like, all my stories are happy, and like, I seem happy like right now and all that stuff. I actually feel fine, don't worry, but but like, you get my point. Like, it's just, sometimes it's just about like, A, putting a smile on your face, but B, doing your best to think positively, but at the same time not like cutting out the negativity, sure, but not completely forgetting about it. Because I find when you're trying to push something like that's in your mind negative aside, like for example, like you feel guilty about something, or like you feel like slightly depressed about something, and trying to push it aside is just going to create more negativity and more depression. Because I find like when you're trying to push something out, you think about it more because you're constantly thinking, I need to forget this, but it's going through your head, so it's making it worse. So like allowing it to be there, but at the same time trying to think of other things that are positive rather than just try, like you think of the positives of the situation, but that's not always possible. So us humans naturally, like go on a spiral downward, like kind of thingy when we start thinking negatively. But think of like other things that are positive outside of the situation as well, and think about for example, if like something I learned was like everyone has their own reasons. For example, like if you're getting frustrated on the road, like like I know a lot of people get like in Auckland, this traffic, right? You get frustrated with people, you don't want to cut in or whatever. That person might be trying to get their kids to the hospital. Like you just like you don't think about the stuff, and you get frustrated, you get angry about that. It's like, why is that person doing that? It's terrible driving. Or that's something you don't know that person's story. Just being aware of like what are, like that other people have their own story and have their own reasons. Like for example, a person might be really sour to you. It makes you feel like crap or annoyed or like angry about that. But you need to be aware that that person might genuinely have depression and might be quite sad like that day or whatever, or like might have broken up with his girlfriend, like or she might have broken up with boyfriend or whatever. Parent might have passed away. Anything like that. It's just being aware, I think, is huge. So knowing that people are going through shit probably worse than what you're going through is huge as well. But then at the same time, always trying to think as positive as possible. So thinking what you do have rather than what you don't have is huge.
Too right. I should finish up sooner, else I won't make it to uni. So I'll ask you one more question, give you your time back. So when it comes to people looking to get into fitness, what advice would you give them if they in the past have had trouble sticking to an exercise regimen, or have had trouble just getting into the whole thing of fitness and making it not just a task but actually an enjoyable activity?
Change it. It's pretty straightforward. Like, I mean, if you're, for example, if you're doing bodybuilding style training, maybe try CrossFit out, or like maybe try powerlifting, or just purely change it up. Like, I mean, that's huge. Then also, so that's one. But then two, why? Like, why are you doing it? If you're doing it, because you want the respect of others, it's going to be really difficult. I mean, it's going to push you to an extent, but as soon as you've got that respect, you're going to fall off the bandwagon. It's going to be like, it's not going to be really that exciting. But finding a really strong why. So for example, my why is because I want to inspire others, and I've got like certain, like for example, like in my life goals, I've got certain numbers of the amount of people that I want to reach and change lives of, and it's going to take realistically, like that's going to take a few lifetimes to do. But, like I've said that, and it's like, okay, cool. Like it's going to motivate me to keep my my body in check and like my lifestyle in check, so that I can be in the position to inspire others that way. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And that's going to keep me going every day. And that way I if I'm not feeling it one day, it'll get me into the gym and keep doing what I need to do. But then at the same time, because I just simply found something that I enjoy, which is more of a hobby than anything. It's more of a lifestyle, which is powerlifting stuff and bodybuilding stuff. It's enjoyable. So so that's why I say why, because that's going to get you going when you don't want to, and then change it if you don't enjoy it, because that's just going to it's made the journey a lot more fun. So
Too right. Sweet as, man. I'll probably leave you here. Thank you so much for coming on today, man.
That's all right, mate. No, it was a good talk.
I would also just like to point out that I know my outros sound very, very awkward, and it sounds like we have beef or something, but I'm just an awkward person when it comes to outros. We talk after, we sort of just chill after. It's not as awkward as it sounds. But here's the real outro. Whoopee. Yo guys, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I hope the audio wasn't too bad. I think it was in a decent level, and I think the amount of value that you get out for the audio is still on a good level. I hope it didn't ruin the conversation too much. If it did, then I will try get him on again, and we can do it again, maybe episode, in a later thing. I will leave Kieran's details in the show notes. He's a great dude. I would guarantee you check him out. The audio quality is a lot better on his YouTube and on his Instagram. It was a bit on the fly, and we just sort of had to roll with what we had. So sometimes you got to do that. I would also love if you guys would subscribe and review the podcast. That would really mean a lot to me because it really is my oxygen. I really do. That's how I grow and that's how I breathe. So yeah, and I would also love if you check out my Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. I mean, yeah, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening and have a good night.